Jubilee headquarters. So yesterday, the Secretary General of the Jubilee Party, the governing party, holds a news conference to make an important announcement about the Msambweni by-election. I think we can hear Raphael Tuju. And right after that, the Deputy President arrives at the same party headquarters. Let's listen to both of them.
Following consultations within the party, it has been decided that the Jubilee Party will not be fielding a candidate in the forthcoming Msambweni parliamentary by-election.
I was of a completely different view that the party should field a candidate in Msambweni. Sasa hatuna candidate kule Msambweni. Sasa tutajipanga tu na yule mwenye wale watakuwa huko, na akiwa mmoja wao akiniongelesha vizuri naweza kumsaidia.
Before you continue, I think there's an interesting tweet that I think should go on air now as I speak, so that it would help tie in what we're talking about Msambweni by-election and independent candidates and whether Jubilee would have one or not. I don't know if we have that, Robert. Yeah, there was a tweet, I think, attached to that soundbite from today by the Deputy President, William Ruto. He was visited by, I think, Faisal Dori, who is, I think, a relative of the late Member of Parliament from Msambweni, Suleiman Dori. And he's going to stand as an independent candidate. And it was clear from what the Deputy President said that he was going to support this candidate who is running on an independent ticket, because standing with him was another Member of Parliament from Coast Nyali, Mohamed Ali Jichopevu, who also ran on an independent ticket. I think that's what we wanted to see. That tweet was on the page of the Deputy President. With him is Faisal Dori, and he speaks about him running as an independent candidate. I think it's interesting that a couple of less than 24 hours after he speaks at the steps of Jubilee headquarters, saying that amekubali shinga upande kwamba chama hicho hakitaweza kumwasilisha mgombea because of course of the uhusiano wa handshake between ODM and Jubilee, and the fact that ODM itawasilisha mpiga kura mwaniaji. So it's interesting about how now the DP is no longer afraid to actually show that this is my stand. I think he was not consulted at all. He had no idea that this is what was going to happen at Jubilee House yesterday.
That's what they said there, but you can never be sure, because when he was asked the question, I remember there's a journalist who asked the question, why are you not consulted about this? Why are you not aware? Then he said, well, they sent something, but we were still kind of by the time. Yeah. So he kind of, it was fudging around that. It wasn't quite clear what exactly had happened. He wasn't totally unaware of what was going on. He wasn't totally unaware of what the party, however you define that, had decided. But Linus, it doesn't get more untidy than this for a party, more so a party that is actually in government.
And the ruling party.
Yes, Joe. And I think what we are witnessing is another slow parting of ways. Because constitutionally, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto are tied. They are joined at the hip. They can't separate constitutionally unless, of course, one chooses to resign. And the likelihood of the president resigning is lower than the second possibility. So what we are seeing is it's going to be this slow. I don't think the Deputy President was completely unaware of the events at Jubilee headquarters. I think he made a very deliberate move to visit the headquarters. It's more of a daring thing. 2
times in 2 days.
And he's done it the day before, right?
That you can't ignore me. I'm here, and I've not left Jubilee. I'm here to ask and see what the hell is going on here. And we saw a tweet by Itumbi yesterday announcing what exactly was going to do yesterday, which is to get the ticket for one of the candidates. By the way, who in 24 hours changed to a different candidate?
From Charlotte, she's called Charlotte?
Charlotte was supposed to get the, according to Itumbi, she was supposed to get the ticket yesterday, and today now there is the support for Dori. Now, What we are also seeing is the deputy president setting the stage for a contest similar to what we saw in Kibra. First of all, intra-Jubilee, and then Jubilee versus ODM. And we are going to see him presenting himself as that face that will be fronting an independent candidate, like he said, na wengine ambao wanapaswa kujipanga elsewhere, versus ODM.
And he started that line, Linus, yesterday when he was saying, kwa vile sasa hatuna candidate huko, you know, he's already setting that stage. Like, you know what, I am not going against anything that my party is doing, because look, can you see a Jubilee candidate?
Yes, and there's something I quickly wanted to point out as to what the party might have been doing about...
And there is the tweet.
About the DP. I think whoever was on the opposite end of the DP's political thinking at Jubilee headquarters wanted to deny the DP the opportunity he enjoyed in Kibra, where he really ran the campaign for Mariga and for Jubilee, and that was the face of the Jubilee campaign. Because of the political fallout that we have in Jubilee, they wanted to deny him completely. If you're going to campaign for anybody, it will not be a Jubilee candidate, not the candidate of the party of the president. So I think it's just an extension of the ongoing war at Jubilee.
And it would have been much easier, I mean, for him, Francis, if there was a Jubilee candidate, because then he would be there, you know, fully and squarely campaigning for a Jubilee candidate, and will be saying, well, we are all in Jubilee and this is our candidate. But here is a situation where the party says we are not fielding a candidate, largely because we are in this arrangement with ODM, and the guy who died was an ODM MP, and therefore it's only respectful that we do that. But then the deputy party leader saying, I was of a different opinion, but I respect what has happened, but tutajipanga na wale ambao watakuwa huko.
I look at the coming by-elections in Msambweni two ways. One, there maybe would have been a similarity to what we saw in Kibra, where you remember initially the discussion was that Jubilee will not field a candidate in Kibra, but the deputy president insisted on a candidate, and that's how McDonald Mariga came to be. And you remember the intrigues around whether he was a registered voter, where he registered, how he registered, even that matter coming up before IEBC for resolution. And eventually he got a candidate. And that daring scenario of, you know, I'm heading to Baba's bedroom, taking the wall to his bedroom, literally. Now, the scenario is, he wanted to apply the same scenario in Msambweni, where a Jubilee candidate would have gone head-to-head with an ODM candidate. But the party clearly now has denied him that opportunity. But now, this introduces another dynamic. You remember the Embakasi South by-election, where Jubilee did not field a candidate, but there was an ODM candidate, Sumra, and there was a Wiper candidate, Mawathe. You remember that contest?
Yes.
There was talk of the deputy president's hand behind the scene in the outcome, so to say. You remember the same scenario in Ugenya? There was also talk of his hand behind the scene somewhere. But in this scenario now, he has openly and clearly stated who is his preferred candidate in Msambweni. I will not be surprised at all to see the deputy president move to Msambweni to campaign openly for Faisal. And it will be an open contest with the ODM candidate. And remember, the deputy president has made a series of tours in the coast region. Why? To try and get, you know, some support there. And this will also be an opportunity for him to see how much inroad he has made, if he has, in Kwale County, which is, based on the 2017 presidential results, one of the areas Raila Odinga, the ODM leader, got a high number of votes. The governor in Kwale is Jubilee, but almost the entire county assembly is ODM. Right. So you can imagine the kind of a contest that you're going to see. But now, what I find interesting is that Faisal will be vying as an independent candidate. So the deputy president will have, and the MPs who support him, especially from Jubilee, will have an opportunity to say, we are not vying, we are not campaigning against a party candidate. We are campaigning
because the party doesn't have a candidate.
Because the party does not have a candidate here. We are campaigning for a friend You know, and look out for that word. This is our friend. We are helping him at his hour of need. That's how politics will be played in Msambweni.
In other words, Yvonne, the contest that the DP was looking for was really not a contest between those two candidates in Msambweni.
Yeah.
He basically was looking for a contest between himself and
ODM leader Raila Odinga. And for me, whichever way it goes, I think it could be one. I mean, if he manages, if Faisal manages to win against the ODM candidate, whoever they will decide, what a win that'll be for, Ruto. It's all about testing waters and, ahead of 2022. But still, I imagine, even if he doesn't win, it's all about, tuwafanyishe kazi. Let's not make this
and the margin.
an easy win.
A run for their money.
Exactly. So for me, this is all, again, just as we saw with Kibra. And which was the other one?
Embakasi South and Ugenya.
This is just between two leaders, and all of these people who will be whipped up on the ground, it will really be about something else and not really about replacing Suleiman Dori.
In fact, Joe, lastly, look at the scenario. Look at the number of MPs who are NDP's residents today. Muhammad Ali, Owen Baya, the battalion that will campaign, Moshetani, the battalion that will be campaigning for Faisal is clear. Add there Aisha Jumwa and a few other members of parliament from the coast region. On the other hand, you will see now the ODM deputy party leader and Mombasa governor Hassan Joho. You will also see most likely Amason Kingi, the governor for Kilifi, and a series of other members of parliament, Akina Mishi and everybody else, going to Kwale to campaign for the ODM candidate. So expect huge fireworks in terms of the campaign, and whichever way it goes, it has very little to do with who will become the next member of parliament from Msambweni, but more about how the politics will play with an eye on Msambweni, but a bigger eye on 2020.
And ODM hasn't settled on a candidate yet. There are the two. There's Zani and there's Mboga. I would love to see how that would play out in terms of how they'll actually end up with which candidate. Will you go the Kibra way, where it was actually democratic, that they picked the one who was popular, or itakuwa ile patia huyu kwa sababu ya 1 or 2 or 3 reasons that hatujui sana? But yeah, I think it's time to end the show, right? Right.